Okay, we're back for the Power Stroke project, part 14, I believe. See, since my last video, all I've gotten done was I got both the inner fender wells stripped off this thing, all the parts out of the way. Well, I could get to the manifolds, and actually last night, oh, by the way, it's Monday, November 29th, I think. Yep. The Monday after Thanksgiving. And I did come out here last night, and we got this manifold off. And having the fender wells off, that made it a lot easier. This side wasn't too bad. All the bolts came out except for one. The head was rounded off. They were pretty rusty, and I took a die grinder and a cutoff wheel, just like this right here, and cut the head off, and then I kind of wallered or cut on a bolt up inside the hole so that the manifold would slide over the remaining stud or bolt. Got that out, and now that this is off, I think I've already found my exhaust leak. Yeah, it was right here. I don't know how well you can see this, but from here to here is a very high ledge or high spot. This particular bolt right here, the head had popped off from rust and fatigue, I guess. Who knows how long it's been like that. Probably since I started noticing my exhaust leak a few years back. I guess it just fatigued and popped off. There that is right there. You can tell it's been broken off for quite a while. But what I'm going to try to do to fix this, instead of buying new manifolds, I'm going to see if I can set this thing up in the mill and machine that off. That won't be done in this video, but for us this video, we're going to see if we can get this manifold off. This manifold is not going to be, I don't know how well you can see that with this bright light shining. Oh, there we go. This manifold is not going to be quite as easy as the other side. If you can see, I don't know how well you can see this. Those bolts are rusted so bad that there isn't hardly any hex gone at all. I got that back one out last night, and that's the only one that came out. Well, in the front one. Yeah, there it is. Got the front one out. The rest of them, I tried to beat. They're supposed to be originally 13mm bolt heads, and these have rusted away so bad I could beat an 11mm on it, and it was a good tight fit, but when I went to try to break them loose, all I did was round them off even more. So I'm going to try a little something. I'm going to try it once, see if it works. If it does work, we'll make a little video on that. It might be a handy little how-to video on how to get some stubborn exhaust manifold bolts off. So I need to unhook this piece of tubing that goes in the front of the manifold. I guess that's going to either an oxygen sensor or some kind of manifold heat sensor. I'm not sure. I'm mostly a mechanic of older cars. I don't work on the later stuff, anything with a computer. Doesn't mean I can't that topic, and let's see if I can't figure out a good way to remove these rounded off bolts. We'll be right back. I guess I could. Okay, YouTube, I'm back. It is actually Wednesday, November 30th. And as you can see, I haven't made much progress. I got the rear bolt out, and that was it. It had a decent head on it, enough of it where I could get a socket on it. And what I was talking about, I was going to try to do, it didn't work. I welded a nut to this bolt, and so I could get a good socket on it, and I was hoping I could break it loose like that, but couldn't get a good weld on that old rusty bolt, so it just broke the weld right off. And you can see these two bolts, I've ground the head off. What I tried to do with those, I tried taking a die grinder and a cutoff wheel and grinding a flat where I could get a hold of it with some vice grips. Couldn't really get a good, I could get a good grip on it, but you can't really turn it. Those bolts are in there pretty snug. I'm really hoping they won't break off in the head. They're kind of frozen in there. They're not wanting to come out as easy as the other side. Plus the heads on these are rusted a lot worse. So what I'm going to have to do is grind all the heads off these remaining bolts see if this manifold will slide off. I got a feeling after I grind the heads off, I'm going to have to drill up in here, at least up to about there, because this is a close fit, and I'm thinking that even if I cut those heads off, I may get lucky, but what I'm thinking is going to happen is you can see this tight fit between the frame and the manifold right there. Even after I get the heads off and start trying to slide the manifold off the remaining studs, that it's going to hit that frame. So what I may have to do is drill the remaining stud up to about, hope you can see my finger there, up to about that point there on all of them, just like that. So that's something I was trying to avoid. I should have just went ahead and done it to begin with. But you live and you learn. Sometimes we try to do things what we think might be easier, and we end up just wasting time and have to do it the hard way anyway. And I tried these things around it video and get to work of cutting some head bolts off. Stay tuned. Alright, we're back. It's only about, I don't know, 15 minutes since the last pause of the camera. As you can see, I used my cutoff wheel and ground the heads of these bolts off, and there's still a little bit of the flange of the bolt where it seats up against the manifold, holding the manifold on. What I'm going to do now is take this little right angle 90-degree angle die grinder with this round Dremel bit, and what I'm going to be doing is going up inside of that bolt and just kind of working it around like this. Kind of jumps around on me right now, but once I get a little bit of a recess ground down in there, I'll start working around just like that, and that will break the bolt free from the manifold. We can get that flange out of there, and hopefully I can get lucky and slide this manifold down. And I'll be back when I get that done and show you the next thing I gotta do to get this manifold off. Okay, we're back about 15 minutes later, and I used that Dremel bit die grinder, and as you can see how I did that, I got the rest of the flange of the bolt head off. And what I did, I kind of went inside the manifold and got that radius and as close to the center of the bolt so I could get it. Once you break through and the bolt comes out, you can kind of see the difference between the bolt and the manifold, and it kind of gives you an idea where the center of the bolt is. I'm going to attempt to put a little pry bar here and put a little pressure on this in between here and see if it'll kind of break loose. I doubt it will. These bolts here, some of them, not all of them, as you can see, there's a lot of bolt hole clearance on these two end holes. Like this one right here and that one right there. These here, there seems to be some sort of a sleeve in there. I went through it on the other one, and it was hard to pry that other one off with just the one bolt that I had cut the head off of. So I got a feeling that what I'm going to have to do is at least drill some of these out, and that's why I took that die grinder and put that little ball in there, if you will, took that ball nose bit and kind of put that recess. That'll help me kind of stay in the middle of the bolt, and hopefully these things will drill out okay. And I'm not going to drill all the way up here. What I'm hoping to happen, we'll drill up to about here, this deep, up in here like that, and end up about that deep, and there won't be nothing left holding the manifold on, of course, and they can get them out. And I'm hoping these studs that are left in here will have about that much sticking out. I'm hoping they'll be like the other side, and I can just put some vice grips on once the pressure is off, and take them vice grips and turn them right out, because the other side, those two bolts did do that. They came out pretty easy. Hoping once the pressure, I think the reason that they don't want to turn, they're kind of rusted to the manifold. You know how sometimes something gets so rusty it kind of welds itself to another part of the to the other part. Okay, I'm going to try that, and I'll update you on how that goes. Alright, we're back another 15 minutes later. I tried prying on it, it didn't want to budge, so I still got to drill these two center bolts out. Stupid flashlight's trying to roll.